95. So it's way back. And the licensing process, I have to say, that it only started, to full effect. I think it was in the early 2000 where they really started, going heavy on the employer's credentials and the. So for me, being from South Africa, I did not do the prometric exam, so I didn't sit for any exam, and yeah. So and when I was doing I think the hospital did the licensing process for me. I didn't need to do much, but we'll go through it slowly. What I've done is I've prepared a explainer video for you, which is really good. Please listen to it carefully and you can take notes if you need. Later on, I will publish the video so you'll have access to it again. And then I have a slide presentation. We'll go through the same thing again slowly. And also, I'm going to, and after that, I'll tell you about working in the UAE, the life in the UAE, the culture, the people. So what we'll do, let us start off. So I'm going to go to share the screen. And so you can start by watching the explainer video. All right, so let me go to share. Uh, mm, okay, I'm going to share. Okay, so let's play the video.
Welcome to this deep dive explainer. Today, we are bringing you a highly specialized, comprehensive briefing that is specifically designed for African radiographers and medical imaging scholars who are looking to transition their careers to the United Arab Emirates. Now, let's be real for a second. I know that looking at the global stage from countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, or Ethiopia can sometimes feel pretty daunting. But right out of the gate, we want to completely validate your hard work. Your African education and your clinical background, they are incredibly powerful, highly sought after global assets.
Absolutely, they are. We're so excited to guide you through this material today. As medical consultants, we have.
Yes?
We are not able to see the video. Could you kindly share your screen?
Oh, okay. I think I did something wrong there. Let me go back. Can share your screen. Okay, that's good. Okay, let me see what I've not done right. Okay, entire screen. Do I click entire screen? Do you have any idea? Do I go entire screen, right? Yeah. Let me, okay. Let me try that. Entire screen. And share. All right, sorry. Can you see my screen at the moment? Can you see now?
Not yet.
Okay, just give me a second.
Meticulously analyze the pathway.
All right, I'm just going back. I'm not used to Google Meet. Sorry about that. Let me say stop share. Let me do that again from beginning. So when I go to share screen, stop presentation. Okay, I don't know what I'm not doing right here. Select the tab. I go to Windows. Okay, I think I got it. There and share. Okay. Is it all right now? Can you
Not
see?
yet.
Huh? You still can't see the screen?
We still can see your screen. Now we can.
You can see it?
Yeah, now we can.
Hey, thank God. Okay, there you go. Oops. Now what happened? Sorry. Uh, can you see it now?
Yes, we can still see it.
Welcome to this
Is it all right? Huh?
deep dive explainer. Today, we are bringing you a highly specialized, comprehensive briefing that is specifically designed for African radiographers and medical imaging scholars who are looking to transition their careers to the United Arab Emirates. Now, let's be real for a second. I know that looking at the global stage from countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, or Ethiopia can sometimes feel pretty daunting. But right out of the gate, we want to completely validate your hard work. Your African education and your clinical background, they are incredibly powerful, highly sought after global assets.
Absolutely, they are. We're so excited to guide you through this material today. As medical imaging consultants, we have meticulously analyzed the pathways, the data, and the regulatory frameworks. And we're here to tell you, for a fact, that the path to working in state-of-the-art UAE tertiary hospitals is not some pipe dream. It is a structured, entirely achievable reality. So let's just dive straight into this briefing and start building your roadmap to the UAE.
I want to hook your attention immediately with a profound statement straight from the official frameworks. It says, evaluation is based on curriculum quality and accreditation, not country GDP. Think about that for a second. We need to instantly deconstruct this myth of a developing nation disadvantage because it simply doesn't exist in the eyes of UAE health authorities. The system is specifically designed to look at the caliber of your training, the rigor of your curriculum, and your professional competency. Where you come from does not put you at the back of the line. Your home country degree is a powerful key that absolutely unlocks international doors. Exactly. Because the UAE health authorities, whether you're looking at the DHA in Dubai, the DOH in Abu Dhabi, or the Ministry of Health and Prevention, or MOHPAP for the Northern Emirates, they don't just judge your application arbitrarily. They use something called the Unified Professional Qualification Requirement, known as the PQR. This is a standardized universal framework. What this means in plain everyday terms is that if your bachelor's degree or your diploma is officially recognized by your home Ministry of Education and your national regulator back in Nigeria, Kenya, or Ghana, it is fully eligible for evaluation in the UAE. There is literally no hidden penalty. It is a totally equal playing field based entirely on verified standards. All right, so here is the agenda for today's masterclass. We're going to cover the Unified Equality Framework, the 2-year clinical experience milestone, data flow as your ultimate equalizer, the Prometric exam, crucial documentation, and finally, your 5-month transition roadmap. So, starting with Section 1, the Unified Equality Framework and Standardized Criteria for African Professionals. Under this framework, African radiographers prove their parity by working side by side with Tier 1 professionals from the UK and the US on the exact same advanced diagnostic equipment. Let's transition into the 2-year clinical experience milestone. For applicants coming from African nations, having 2 years of continuous clinical experience after your graduation is the standard requirement for licensing. Now, I really want you to reframe how you look at this. Please do not see this as a hurdle. See it as a bridge. The UAE isn't looking for some obscure, unattainable type of experience. Your daily, active, hands-on clinical floor work back home, positioning patients, managing high-stress trauma x-rays, running contrast protocols, that everyday hustle in your home hospitals is exactly what qualifies you to step onto the UAE stage. It builds the clinical stamina they desperately need and actively look for. And speaking of your background qualifications, your specific education track actually dictates your clinical title in the UAE. So if you hold a bachelor's degree like a BSc or a BRAD, this translates directly to the technologist's title. This is a really big deal because it grants you a much wider modality scope. It allows you to work in specialized areas like MRI, interventional radiology, or CT. Plus, it opens up a much easier path to senior leadership roles and, of course, a higher starting salary. On the flip side, if you hold a 3-year diploma, you're going to be categorized under the technician title, which is primarily focused on general radiography. Both of these roles are highly respected and critically needed, but understanding this distinction right now sets the exact right expectations for your career trajectory. Moving right along to Section 2 data flow, the great equalizer, bridging the gap through verification. Okay, so a absolutely crucial point here is understanding the mechanics of data flow. Primary source verification basically means the UAE authorities do not just look at your physical piece of paper. Instead, data flow reaches out directly from the UAE straight to your university's registrar in Lagos or Nairobi or wherever you studied, or straight to your licensing board. And they ask a simple question: did this person graduate from here? Is this license actually real? Because this secure digital process goes straight to the source, once they get that yes, your degree is unequivocally authenticated. It's a brilliant, airtight system that completely bypasses any potential geographic biases. That's so true. Once your Nigerian, Ghanaian, or Kenyan degree is successfully data flow verified, it essentially puts a digital armor around your qualifications. Legally speaking, within the UAE healthcare system, your verified African degree now holds the exact same legal weight for DHA or DOH licensing as a degree from London or New York. It is bulletproof. The verification process is literally the key to authenticating your worth on a global scale. And part of building that bulletproof verification involves your professional standing. The UAE health authorities specifically recognize your home regulatory boards. We're talking about bodies like the Radiographers Registration Board of Nigeria, or RRBN, the Allied Health Professions Councils in Ghana and Kenya, known as AHPC, and the Health Professions Councils in Namibia and Ethiopia. You are going to need a mandatory certificate of good standing from these precise bodies. And here is a very critical expert tip for you. That certificate must be less than 6 months old when you submit your application. So make sure you time your requests perfectly. Otherwise, you'll be dealing with annoying delays. All right, let's jump into Section 3, the Prometric Exam, proving your competency matches global standards. This is your badge of honor. Now, we know the mere idea of a comprehensive CBT exam can cause a bit of anxiety, but let's break it down. African nations generally fall under the Tier 3 or general licensing category, where sitting for this exam is mandatory. Do not see this as a barrier. You might look at Tier 1 regions like the UK or the US and see they're exempted, but that's simply because those specific regions have reciprocal board agreements. Here is the incredibly empowering takeaway for you. When you sit for that prometric exam and you pass it, you officially validate that your understanding of radiology physics, contrast protocols, and patient care is completely equivalent to those exempted Tier 1 regions. It proves without a doubt that your clinical knowledge base is globally elite. On to Section 4, Crucial Documentation and the Gap Policy. This is all about preventing fatal application rejections. Let's walk through the exact literal necessities to prevent those heartbreaking rejections. First up, you need incredibly detailed academic transcripts. They cannot just be a brief summary, they must explicitly show specific credit hours and your clinical rotation hours. Second, if you studied in an English-speaking country like Nigeria or Kenya, do yourself a favor and secure a medium of instruction letter from your university. Why? Because this can very often waive the IELTS English proficiency requirement entirely. Third, your experience letters from your past employers must be incredibly specific. They must clearly state your full-time salaried status and detail your specific modality exposure. Were you doing CT, MRI, general X-ray? Spell it out.
And host one, we really have to remind them about the silent killer of all applications, typos. Please ensure your name matches perfectly across your passport, your degree, and your experience letters. Seriously, even a misplaced middle initial can stall your data flow verification for months.
Exactly. Attention to detail is absolutely everything here, which brings us to the gap policy. Listen closely. The UAE health authorities want active, sharp clinicians. If you have an unexplained break in your active clinical practice that is longer than 2 years, you are in the danger zone. Gaps longer than 2 years can lead to outright application rejections, or they're going to force you into incredibly costly and time-consuming return to practice training programs. Bottom line, keep your hands on the machine and keep your practice active while you're applying. Finally, Section 5, your 5-month transition roadmap. This is the horizon to those UAE tertiary hospitals. The destination is spectacular, but always remember the universal clinical principles you already possess, like ALARA, meaning as low as reasonably achievable for radiation safety. These core tenets are exactly what will make you stand out in your interviews. So here is your tangible, actionable, month-by-month execution timeline. Month 1 is all about gathering those flawless documents we just talked about and submitting your data flow primary source verification. Months 2 and 3 are your waiting period. This is when data flow actually contacts your university. A quick pro tip: make sure you personally contact your university registrar to ensure they respond to that data flow email immediately. Don't just wait around. Month 4 is when you hunker down, prepare for, and completely crush your Prometric CBT exam. And finally, by month 5, armed with verified credentials and a passed exam, You receive your official eligibility letter. You are now legally, officially ready for UAE job matching. And that brings us to the ultimate question. We've shown you the framework. We've broken down the exact mechanical steps. And we've proven that your background is not a barrier in any way. It is your greatest asset. The blueprint is right here in front of you. You have the clinical resilience. You have the hands-on everyday experience. And now you have the strategic roadmap. The doors to the UAE's state-of-the-art diagnostic hubs are wide open to you. The question isn't whether your African credentials are good enough. We know they are. The question is whether you are finally ready to claim your rightful place on the global stage. So, are you?
Okay. So how do you feel about that? Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. I believe anyone there.
All right. So any questions about that so far? I mean, did it make sense from the video? I know she was the presenter on the video was talking a bit too fast, but was it all right? I mean, how do you feel about it so far? Or shall I proceed?
I believe you can proceed, and then we can let the audience talk at the end of the session.
All right. So can you see my slides now?
Not yet.
Okay. The same. Okay. Let me come out of here. Oops, sorry. Right. Okay. Sorry. Just give me a sec. Mm. Sandra, will you be able to show the slides from your end? It'll be easier.
Okay, let me do that.
Okay, Sandra, let me see. Can you see my screen now?
No, we cannot see a screen. Should I
Okay.
share the
Then I
screen?
think yeah, you better do it. Yeah.
Okay. We can see your screen.
Oh, should I go ahead with what I was doing?
Yeah, you should go ahead with what you're doing.
Okay, let me just give me a sec. Mhm. Because I think I just closed it.
Yeah, you did.
I did close it. Okay, if you give me a second, I can open it again. Were you able to get it from your side? Or it's taking time?
Let me try.
I shouldn't have closed it. I should have kept it open. Okay, let me see if I can do this quickly. Okay. All right. Okay, it's almost there.
I am sharing it. Can you see it?
Oh, yes. Okay. So, right. So we're just going to go through it slowly. Uh, um, the same as what was explained in the video. Okay, so this is the 2026 UAE licensing pathway for the UAE. Can you go to the next slide or to the next one? Okay, so what I want to explain here is, so you have these three licensing bodies, which it depends on if you're going to work in Dubai. So you will be applying for the Dubai Health Authority license. Okay, so this includes all government and private practices in Dubai. So you'll be having the DHA license. Now, the DOH license, Department of Health, is for Abu Dhabi. Now, the time when I was practicing in the United Arab Emirates, it was called the hard license. Okay, so now that has changed. Okay, there was a lot of shift from the time I was there to now, and I left the UAE in 2018. So I think there were things that changed after I left as well. So if you can see in the DOH, okay, now when you're applying, you have to go to the to this what we call TAM, TAMM. Okay, and from there you will restart your applications from TAM. So the Dubai DHA, you will go to the Sharian portal. Okay, so this gives you a map of how to go about it. Dubai for Abu Dhabi. Okay, and now the Northern Emirates. So the Arab Emirates, the United Arab Emirates has 7 separate emirates. You have Dubai, you have Abu Dhabi, which is the capital. Now I was working in Al Ain, which is part of Abu Dhabi. The Northern Emirates, you have the Ministry of Health and Prevention. So this is the licensing body. So this includes Sharjah, Fujairah, Al Quwain, Ajman, and there is one more. So Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quwain, Fujairah, and wait, there is one more. It's not in my head right now. So that Ras Al Khaimah. Sorry, Ras Al Khaimah. So that's yeah. And what I want to say is, like, no matter which part of the UAE, most of their hospitals are state of the art equipment. Even at the time when I worked there years back, they have really advanced technology, state of the art equipment in their hospital, which is a real pleasure. Because even when I came back to South Africa, I still thought South Africa was 2 decades back from, after working, from working in the UAE. The equipment, even South Africa until now, is not fully digital. They still scan paper requests onto the system. But UAE, most of the hospitals in UAE are fully digital. Yeah. So this is the 3 licensing bodies within the UAE, and depending on where you want to work. Can we go to the next one, please? All right. So, like they say here, once you graduate, you have to work. You have 2 years of clinical experience in your country before you venture out. And this is exactly the same like what I did. So, when I graduated, I did work for 2 full years in South Africa because I knew that I was going to, my mission was to, or, I wanted to work overseas. So, I knew that I had to work 2 years before going out. So that is absolutely necessary. Can we go on to the next one? All right, yeah. So data flow, like as they explain, primary source verification. So I had to give my transcript from the university where I studied. And so yeah, they once they check that and it's verified, and once your data flow is clear, then the steps are to become much more smoother. Can we go to the next one? All right. So now the prometric exam, I did not sit for it. I'm not sure exactly how they study for this exam. I remember from colleagues when I was working in the UAE who were going to Canada, who were doing the Canadian exams, they were studying from a book. and apparently the Canadian exam was difficult, but I'm not sure. I can find out about this exam. I mean, is there a book where they study from, or is it just like, you study from what you've learned from your in your education? um yeah, we can look into that, but I'm sure it's not, I mean, like, I don't know of people who've like failed or had to resit the exam. Yeah, so yeah, but once you pass the exam, it should be okay. I'm sure it's the things that you'll be doing in your daily clinical work. I'm sure they'll ask you about radiation safety is always important, contrast media. Okay, yeah, there you go, your protocols. um and they'll give you clinical scenarios as well. Yeah, I don't think, maybe, yeah, here you go, you got anatomy, yeah, your physics, your anatomy, your radiation safety, your, yeah. So I mean, yeah, there is a structure of or what they do ask at the exam. Okay, can we go to the next one? All right, so okay, yeah, okay, so these are the critical red flags. Okay, yeah. So take note of the good standing certificate that it's needed. So you need your transcript, and it tells you here that you need color scans, and you need a good standing certificate. Uh, and I see, like, it's a good point to note that they say make sure there's no typing errors, because with these little things they can be fussy sometimes. If they say, and then they return it back to you, so make sure from beginning when you do all your applications, check it out thoroughly before you send it through, and take note of all these red flags. I mean, you will have access to this presentation as well. So if you do plan on starting this process, can we go to the next one? All right, and yeah, so this is the cost of everything. Yeah, I think from beginning to end. So when I had to go to Oman, where I worked as a quality manager, they only required the data flow from me. Okay, and I did have to pay as well. So every process that you go through, there is a payment involved. um what I'm not sure of is currently in the UAE whether they expect the candidate to do everything on their own, because when I was there, I know that the hospital covered all these costs. So I'm actually really not sure, but we can always look into it to find out if, will the employer cover the cost of these? Because it is a bit too heavy. They expect the candidate to, pay all these fees. But we can definitely look into these things. Can we go on to the next one? I think the last one is the transition period, like, yeah. Oh yes, this is something to note. This is called tarshish. What they mean here is tarshish means it's like an endorsement. So what they're saying now, if you applied to work in Dubai, and you went through all this process of doing the data flow and the prometric exam, whatever, and you worked after you got your license, the DHA license, you can work. You have this period to work from 6 to 12 months, and just say you got an offer in Abu Dhabi with a better salary. So what they're saying is you don't need to do everything again. All right. So they just do an easy transfer. Okay. Without you having to go through everything again. So because from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, most people like working in Abu Dhabi because the salaries are higher. Now, I worked in Al Ain, and I know at the time when I was working, my salary was much higher than somebody who was working in Dubai or the other Emirates. So everybody preferably would like to work in Abu Dhabi. Now, I work in Al Ain, which is part of Abu Dhabi. Al Ain is also called the Garden City. It's a very lovely place. It's small. They've got the two hospitals that I work there are tertiary hospitals. They're quite big. They're 400-bed hospitals. Now they have one is converted to a 600-bed hospital. They have state-of-the-art equipment, and the life in Al Ain is very nice. The cost of living in Al Ain is very reasonable. It's quite a life compared to Abu Dhabi, which is like the city. Which is very like you're in the city with buildings with traffic and the same like in Dubai. So I loved where I was in Al Ain because it was a bit quieter. There was no traffic like Dubai or Abu Dhabi, and yeah. So the salaries in Abu Dhabi compared to, so you might just say you apply and you got a job in Dubai, you work for a year, and then you saw an ad and you want to move to Abu Dhabi. So this Tarshish offers you that where you just transfer. I think you need a no objection letter from your where you're working to transition to the next place. All right, so let's see what is the next one about. Your next slide.
I believe that was the last one.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. Okay, so what I basically would like to just talk about a little bit is working. My experience working in the United Arab Emirates was, the best thing that I ever did in my life. It is no regrets at all, and I always advise people, and if you have this opportunity, go for it. You don't have to live there or stay there forever, but go for the experience that I have working in the United Arab Emirates is invaluable. It's something which I cannot even imagine that I would have had in South Africa. The people, the UAE nationals are very kind people. The country is safe. I mean, that's what um, you know, uh, uh, you know, motivated me to go to work in this country. I mean, years back, just heard that Dubai is safe, and yeah, Dubai, of course, is a safe country. It's just that from the time I worked there to now, I mean, the cost of living is higher, but also at the same time, you must remember that. In UAE, the salaries are high, yes, but also it's matching the cost of living there. So the price of water that you would pay for in the UAE, I would not pay that price in South Africa. So you got to think of it that way. So when you go to work in the UAE, you got to be very wise, like, to save and, don't spend, recklessly. So, okay, let's talk about the hospital itself. Like I said, the technology is very advanced. You're working with state of the art equipment. They are fully digital, paperless. The culture, with time, you will get to understand the culture. You will learn to speak the language a bit. You don't need to be fluent, but just to be able to talk to a patient. They do offer Arabic class, free Arabic classes for the staff, and and the nationalities. You will be. I mean, that's the best part of it. You're working with this mix of nationalities. You work with the local nationals, you work with the nationals from the Gulf countries like Syrian, Lebanese, Palestinians. Then you have the GCC countries, which is the UAE, Oman, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. But of course, yeah. So then you have Filipino, you have Indian nationals, you do have uh, 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 people from other countries, the Western countries like the US, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and yeah, so it's a good experience, and yeah, and what can I say? It's something I never regret. It is like yeah, my best years, and given a chance, I would go back. Yeah, definitely. And I always advise people to go for it. I mean, if you don't need to stay there, like I said, but just to go for the experience. But people tend to get so comfortable that they don't move. I've known people who've spent years there, maybe longer than me. Yeah. So anyway, I'm talking so much. I'd like to hear your questions now.
Thank you so much, Fatima, for that. I believe everyone has heard about the UAE. So I would like for anyone who has a question to kindly unmute themselves and ask the question.
Yeah, making me miss my days. Sorry.
Anyone with a question?
I actually have to mention that, I've had like really great opportunities. Like while I was in the UAE, I got to speak in, like for international conferences. I've spoke at the Arab Health in Dubai. I think it was in 2016. And this kind of opportunities, I would not have had that like here. But, it was really great. I mean, uh, yeah, I mean, I can't begin to tell you the experience working in the UAE was just great. But I don't know because there is people who do like to travel, who do like to venture and go out, and you get people who would love to stay in their own country. So maybe it's just the group of people I studied with who are now in Australia, New Zealand, and I went to the Middle East. Yeah, so, but there is also another part of the group who stayed in South Africa. And yeah, what else can I say?
Thank you so much for that. I believe everyone over here, all this all join the call, they all have dreams to go abroad.
Yes, and you have to take that, you have to grab that, go for it. I would say reach for the stars, go for it. You will not regret it at all. You will not regret it. It's lovely to go out there and explore. And like I'm telling you, in the UAE, they would welcome you. I had a lot of respect. They respect you as long as you follow their laws. You don't go, don't do anything out of hand. Everything will work fine. Everything will be fine. You're in a different country. You just follow their rules. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to mention, like maybe people have questions like is the UAE like Saudi where you have to cover? And the answer is no. They are totally open. It's very free. Everything is available. But just as long as you keep in your track, don't go do things that you're not supposed to do and stay out of trouble, and you would really enjoy it. The nice thing is the life doesn't stop in the evening. The life goes on till late in the night. People are out shopping and going for entertainment. The malls close very late there. And what else did I want to say? Now it's gone off my mind. Yeah. Regarding the UAE. Yes. Anyway, it's gone off my mind. But yeah. So the slide presentation, you can make it available and I'll post the video. So, and I'll post the access where you can watch the video again. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's okay. We have one person with a question. So, Abdi, if you could unmute yourself.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Asha Yusuf Abdi. Uh, I have two questions.
Sure.
My first one is this is a radiographer. But is it the same way for a sonographer? And
Yes. Mhm.
the second question is, if I want to further my studies, will I be allowed to do that? As far that I've come with a work visa, can I also study?
Okay. For your first question, if you're going as a sonographer, yes, you follow the same process. The same, you'll go through the same process because just remember there is a big demand for sonographers everywhere, all over the world. So yeah, you have a very good opportunity because I know everywhere they're always looking for sonographers. Regarding your opportunities to study, let me tell you, when I was there in the UAE, I had so many opportunities open to me, and sometimes they even pay for your studies. Okay. Hmm. So this is I don't know how things have changed since then, but when I was there, they really support these initiatives. Yeah, they do, and it's not just for their own people. They open it out for all. Yes, sorry, excuse me. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that answers.
Yes,
Definitely,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
definitely
yes.
opportunity is there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was so informative. It actually adds a lot.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Anyone else would like to ask something or give a comment? Okay, so I believe the silence means there is no question. So thank you very much, Fatima, for sharing your insights on the UAE,
All
for
right. You're welcome.
inspiring us to dream beyond and not be limited to what is available. Yeah,
Yeah.
so thank you for taking your time for this session and making yourself available to talk to us.
Sure.
So there being no other question, I'd like you to give your final remarks, and then afterwards we would close the session.
Quick
Uh,
request. Can we get the socials of Fatima so that if we have other questions, we can talk to her if it's LinkedIn or anywhere?
Yes, I'm sure Sandra or Shijioki can share that with you, and you are really welcome to connect with me, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions at any time.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, so I will share her LinkedIn profile on the ARSPN hub so that you'll be able to connect further if you have any further questions. And yeah, so if anyone else has anything else, kindly speak up. Okay, so I believe there's no further question, Fatima. So
All right, thank you, everybody. It was nice. It was a good session, I believe. I can go on and on, by the way, but I have to stop myself because I talk too much sometimes. So I have so much to talk about in the UAE. So yeah, but I hope I've told you the essential things that you needed to know. I mean, the licensing. I it's also like I also got familiar with it because this was done by me years ago, and I didn't even have to do much. But from researching everything, at least I got to know myself, the process. So yeah, I just did this research over the last 2 days. So I hope it's helpful. And if there's anything further, we can look into it because I'm also curious to see, like, we find out what's the latest update and what's going on at the moment with regards to licensing. Yeah.
yeah, so thank you very much. I
Mhm.
believe everyone has heard about the UAE. And so anyone who wants to make an application, you can begin now as in
Mhm.
while there are many processes to go through, so you need to be prepared. Yeah, so there being no other questions, no other comments, I will share all the info, all the slides, and also her profile on the ARSPN Info Hub and all the other groups that I have access to. Yeah, so I believe we can now end the session. You can leave at your own free will.
Okay. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye bye. Have a good one.